Hello and welcome to Vision Academy. In this video, we are going to learn constructors and destructors in C++. Let us begin with constructors in C++. Constructor is a special member function which is used to initialize data members of the class. Let us write the definition. I'm going to write here constructor is a special member function used to initialize data members of the class. So now let us take the rules. What are the rules for writing constructor? The first rule says that constructor name is same as that of the class name. And the second rule says that there is no return type for constructor, not even void. A constructor should be declared in a public section only. A constructor is invoked automatically when object of the class is created. Constructors can have default arguments. It is not possible to refer to the address of the constructors. The constructors make implicit calls to the operators new and delete when memory allocation is required. New and delete, both of these two are the operators which are used to allocate memory at the time of execution of the program. That is dynamic memory allocation. Now, let us take a small example that depicts the constructor. Now, let us write class is a keyword. It should be written in lowercase letter. Here I am going to write the class name as sample, curly open brace, and here I am going to declare two data members, that is a private member of type integer a comma b. In a public section, I am going to define a constructor. So first rule says that constructor name is same as that of the class name. Here class name is sample. I have to write sample, and the second step says that there is no return type for constructor, not even void. So here without writing any return type, not even void, I have to write the function name sample and round braces. Here I'm going to write a curly open brace. As per the definition of constructor, it says that it is a special member function used to initialize data members of the class. Here, data members are A and B. I cannot directly initialize their value here only. I can initialize the data members value in a constructor. Here, I'm going to write A is equal to 10, semicolon, and B is equal to 20, and semicolon, curly closing brace. So this is how it is possible for us to initialize data members of the class. And the third point says that a constructor is invoked automatically when object of the class is created. So no need to call this particular function explicitly using object.sample. So as soon as the object of this class is created, automatically it will get invoked. Now I'm going to write a user defined function. For example, I'm going to write void display, round braces, curly open brace, and here I want to print the values of both A and B. Here in a double quotation mark, I'll write A is equal to end the double quotation mark and variable A. Then in a double quotation mark, I'm going to write B is equal to, then I'm going to write the value of B. Then curly closing brace for this display function and curly closing brace for this class definition, and you need to put semicolon that indicates it's a termination point of the class definition. Now we have to create the object of this class in a main function. We're going to write void main curly open brace. Here I'm going to write sample, that is name of the class, and S is the object. So here sample is acting as a data type and X is acting as variable, because whenever we define a class, it is user defined data type. So as soon as the object of the class is created, automatically this constructor will get invoked. Next, in order to call this user defined function, we have to use this object dot member access operator, and then we have to write the name of the function. Here I'm going to write display and then round braces, put a semicolon, curly closing brace. Now let us go for destructors. Destructors are also a special member functions which are used to deallocate memory location occupied by the objects initialized by the constructors. Let us write the definition. Destructors are the special member functions used to deallocate memory locations occupied by the objects initialized by the constructors. Now let us go for rules for writing destructors. The destructor name is same as that of the class name. There is no return type for destructors, not even void. Destructors must be declared in public section. So all these three rules are same as that of the constructor. The fourth rule says that destructors do not take arguments, hence destructors cannot be overloaded. Fifth one is destructors are used to deallocate memory located for the object by the constructor. Now you can see that whenever you want to write a destructor name is same as that of the class name, and it should be preceded by a symbol called tilde. So here I'm going to write tilde. So this symbol, whenever you find, you have to identify that it is a destructor. Now let us write a program that depicts the use of constructor and destructor. Here let us write the preprocessor directives hash include in an angular brace. I'm going to write iostream.h header file, and the next preprocessor directive is hash include in the angular brace. We'll write console input output.h header file. Now we are going to write a class, and here I'm going to write this one as test. So test is the name of the class. Next, curly open brace. Here in a private section, I'm going to declare a variable called x of type integer. In a public section, I'm going to declare constructors, destructor, and one user defined function. So here name of the class is test. The constructor name must be same as that of the class name, and it should not have any return type, not even void. So I have to write here test only. So test and empty round braces and put semicolon. Now I'm going to write one user defined function to display the message. So here I'm going to write void display is a user defined function and put semicolon. So this is called constructor. In a single line comment, I'm going to write this is a constructor. Next, I'm going to write a destructor. As I just now said, it is preceded by a tilde symbol. Here I'm going to write tilde symbol, and you can go through the rules for writing destructor. The destructor name is same as that of the class name. There is no return type for constructor, not even void. Destructor must be declared in public section, and it will begin with the tilde symbol. So here I'm going to write tilde symbol test and then put semicolon. Now we are going to go for closing this class definition by putting semicolon. So this indicates it's a termination point of the class definition. So here you can see we have declared constructor and user defined function and the destructor. Now it's time to define them outside the class definition using scope resolution operator. Now I'm going to write here name of the class as test, scope resolution operator, and name of the function is also test only. Here I'm going to write test and open close brackets, then curly open brace. Here I'm going to write cout stream insertion operator, and I'm going to display one message called in constructor. In constructor. So what is the definition of constructor? Constructor is a special member function which is used to initialize data member of the class. So here you can say x is the data member of the class. Here I'm going to write x is equal to 10, for example. Next, curly closing brace. So after the constructor, I'm going to write a destructor. So how to do it? Again, I'm going to write name of the class, test, scope resolution operator. Then I have to use here tilde symbol and then name of the function, that is destructor test, curly open brace. Here I'm going to write cout statement, and in a double quotation mark I'm going to write in destructor. In destructor, backward slash and put semicolon, curly closing brace. Now you can see we have also declared a user defined function. So I have to define it outside the class definition. So syntax says that we have to write first data type, right? So here I have to write void, then the name of the class is test, then I have to write scope resolution operator, then name of the function is display, round opening and closing brackets, curly open brace, and here I'm going to write value of x. I'll write here cout statement, stream insertion operator, in a double quotation mark I'll write value of x is equal to, end the double quotation mark, and then you can write x. Now curly closing brace. So after defining constructor, destructor, and a user defined function, we have to create the object by using main function. Here I'm going to write void main, then curly open brace. Here name of the class is what? Test. So I'm going to write test and object is t. So test is what? It is name of the class. So whenever I say it is a data type, class is a user defined data type, and here t is acting as a variable, but it is an object of this type. Now with the help of this t, we will be calling the display function, because whenever you create an object of the class, automatically the constructor as well as destructor, both of these two will get executed. No need to call it explicitly. The only thing is we need to call a display function because it is a user defined function. So I'll write here t dot display. Here I'm going to write get ch function and then curly closing brace. So when you compile and run this program, it will display only in constructor and x is equal to 10, because here it is a user defined function, but in destructor we have written in destructor. So after printing in destructor, automatically it will get deleted, so it is not going to get printed. In order to see that, we have to trace the program by pressing F7. Now let us go for executing this program. Here you can see I have already written this program to save your time. Let us trace this program by pressing F7. So as soon as I press F7, you can see that control directly jumps to void main function. As you know that always execution of C++ program starts from main function only. So once again, I'm going to press F7. You can see here test T object is created. As soon as the object of the class is created, control transfers to constructor. You can see, so directly control jumped to the constructor. Now you can see it entered into the body of the constructor and initialize the data member. And this is the internal representation. Here you can say X is the data member which is initialized with value 10 using constructor. Next, after this, once again, control transfers to the main function only. You can see here LRSCR. Then it is going to call this user defined function called display. So control transfers to display function. Here you can see now the call is made. It will enter into the body of this display function. The value of X is equal to X. So it will get printed, and this is internal representation, internal translation. Once again, control transfers back to get ch. So before it terminates the program, you can see at last it is executing the destructor. You can see that tilde symbol over here. So once again, if I press F7, the control enter into the body of the destructor. At last, now I would like to express that Lord Shiva, who is acting as the constructor, who is going to initialize our life. Second comes Lord Brahma, who is going to write our fate, who is called a programmer. And now, at last, Lord Yama will come, who is going to take our life away. He is called a destructor.